This video is getting demonetized.
Before I start this video, I wanted to say I am not a Nazi. I do not condone or sympathize with the Nazi Party. They are all dead now, and anyone who pretends to be a Nazi is an idiot. This video is for educational purposes only. I am an opportunist, and I had an opportunity to purchase these pins and a belt buckle. I decided to better educate myself in the world, for if you have a resource in hand that most people do not, you will learn better than without it. You will notice that my demeanor changes throughout this video, from serious to disgusted to comical to almost angry. I hope not to offend anyone. I hope you all treat this as an opportunity to learn more about the Nazi Party and what to look for with changes inside your own government and even your own personal thoughts. We all lose touch with reality sometimes, and I hope this humbles you a bit. Please watch all the way to the end. It's a little over 25 minutes, about the length of a TV show episode. You won't regret it. And by the way, I do not sprechen Sie Deutsch, so I'm going to butcher all of these words. Please forgive me. Let's get into it. So here's the first one. This is a membership badge of the Danzig Luftschutzbund, or the DLB, also known as the Danzig Air Raid Protection Association, which was part of the Reich Luftschutzbund, the RLB, the National Air Raid Protection League in Nazi Germany. The DLB was a civil defense organization in the free city of Danzig, present-day Gdansk, Poland, which was previously a part of Prussia. Before the end of World War I, the Treaty of Versailles declared it a free city under the League of Nations in Poland. This meant Danzig was neither a part of Germany nor Poland, but had its own government under the protection of the League of Nations. This agreement was intended to give Poland access to the sea, but Germany resented the loss of a larger German city. But back then, when this was made around 1938, they were responsible for air raid precautions in residential areas and along smaller businesses within Danzig. By the next year in 1939, Danzig was one of the cities used to invade Poland starting in World War II, and Nazi Germany reclaimed Danzig, West Prussia, and again part of the German Empire. This one I couldn't find a lot of information about online, but I'm guessing that it's just a little brass pendant that was given out or spread around to show the wearer's support of the Nazi Party or of Adolf Hitler. It's pretty cool, but it's crudely made. It's still interesting, though. This is a membership pin of the National Socialist Dutch Workers' Party, or the NSNAP, which was a minor Dutch Nazi party founded in 1931 and led by Ernst Herman van Rappert, who later joined the Waffen SS. The group looked to the Nazis for their inspiration, sent up their own stormtrooper battalion and their own Holland Youth, like the Hitler Youth, as well as copying the black swastika inside a white circle on a red background, except for changing the black swastika to blue. The group failed to achieve success and was accused by the other rivals, including the National Socialist Movement of Netherlands and the General Dutch Fascist League, for being too moderate for a fascist movement. This pin bears the Nazi slogan Heimatreich, or Home in the Nation. This was a Nazi Party, or NSDAP, slogan for the annex of territories lost in World War I, with majority German populations back to Germany. This pin bears the phrase Fester Deutschen Schule and also VDA at the bottom, which stood for, I'll probably butcher it, but Verein für Deutschen Kulturbeziehungen im Ausland, or the Association for German Culture Relations Abroad. During the Nazi era, it was engaged in spying across the world using German minorities living in other countries. Its other goals included the preservation of German culture among racial Germans. It seems the VDA started out as a charity organization for preserving German culture, but as the Second World War started, the VDA, together with the SS, was engaged in preparing and carrying out the ethnic cleansing in the territories conquered by the Germans. This is a membership pin for the Reich Labor Service, or the Reichsarbeitsdienst, which was a major paramilitary organization established in Nazi Germany as an agency to help mitigate the effects of unemployment in the German economy and to militarize the workforce and indoctrinate its Nazi ideology. During the Great Depression, the German government of the Weimar Republic under Chancellor Heinrich Brunn, by emergency decree, established a voluntary labor service, or the FAD, on June 5, 1931, 2 years before the Nazi Party took power. The state-sponsored employment organization provided service to civil and land improvement projects. The concept was adopted by Hitler when the Nazis seized power in 1933. In 1934, the NSAD was renamed the Reichsarbeitsdienst, or the RAD. This is a pretty amazing Hitler Youth DJ Marksman badge. The Hitler Youth, or the Hitlerjungen, often abbreviated as HD, was a youth wing of the German Nazi Party. Its origins date back to 1922, when it received the name Hitlerjungen, Bund Deutscher Arbeiterjungen, or Hitler Youth, League of German Worker Youth, in 1926. From 1936 to 1945, it was the sole official boys' youth organization, and it was partially a paramilitary organization. It was composed mainly of boys 14 to 18 years old. The Hitler Youth had two sections. The other section was the Deutsches Jungvolk in der Hitler Jungen, or DJ. I'm screwing this all up. Or the German Youngsters in Hitler Youth. Imagine saying this every day. And it was for boys 10 to 13 of the Hitler Youth Organization in Nazi Germany. It promoted outdoor activities, parades, sports, and aimed to indoctrinate its young members with the Nazi ideology. By the end of World War II, some had become child soldiers. After the end of the war in 1945, both the Deutsches Jungvolk and its parent organization, the Hitler Youth, ceased to exist. This DJ badge was awarded to members under the age of 14 with the use of air rifles instead of regular 22 caliber rifles. This pin has the NSDAP, or the main Nazi Party Association logo, but with a blue background instead of the normal red, along with the name Adolf Hitler and the year 1933. I couldn't find much on this exact one, but I believe the blue background could have something to do with the Netherlands, NSDAP, or some other kind of subgroup. It's kind of hard to say without finding a definitive example. This pin displays Ludendorff von Greifer, which refers to two people, along with the slogan Heil Hitler. The first person is Albrecht von Greifer, and the second is Erich Ludendorff, both prominent figures in German politics, mainly in the Weimar Republic. Albrecht was a key figure in the German Völkisch Freedom Party, or the DVFP, which was a major competitor to the Nazi Party. He attempted to merge DVFP with the Nazis in the early 20s, but was unsuccessful due to Hitler's refusal to relinquish leadership. He was also involved in the National Socialist Freedom Movement, or the NSFP, a short-lived alliance between the DVFP and other groups, which included Ludendorff. Ludendorff, a highly decorated World War I general, was a leader of the NSFP working alongside with Albrecht. He was also involved in the Beer Hall Putsch, but his role was less prominent in Hitler's rise. He was a controversial figure known for his strong nationalistic views and his ability to attract a following, but also for his political naivety. After the NSFP's failure, he continued to be active in politics, but never achieved the same level of success as Hitler did. This is a Volksbund Deutschen in Ungar pin. In 1938, a National Socialist German organization was formed, the Volksbund Deutschen in Ungar, under the leadership of Franz Altenbach, and it became the most influential political organization among the Hungarian Germans. In 1940, it became the official representation of the Hungarian Germans and was directly controlled by Germany. The Volksbund had representatives in the Hungarian parliament until 1945. With limited volunteer enlistment and widespread conscription, as well as the wholesale transfer of entities of domestic armed services, many ethnic Germans ended up serving in the military units raised or controlled by the Third Reich and fighting on behalf of the German war efforts in World War II. This included several units of the Waffen SS and spanned combat operations in the proximity of Hungary and its possessions and beyond. And this kind of makes me think of George Soros. That's all I'm going to say. And the reason why I say that is what's documented in his Open Society statement. Here is a pin with the wording Tag der Arbeit, 1935 on it. And this pin has a very interesting story. Basically, it's a pin celebrating the German version of Labor Day. But in Germany and other European and even Asian countries, Labor Day is called International Workers' Day, also known as May Day, and it's a holiday with roots to the socialist movement. In 1889, the International Socialist Conference designated May 1st as a day to honor the workers and commemorate the Haymarket Affair. This choice was inspired by the socialist and labor movement's push for better working conditions and an 8-hour workday. The Haymarket Affair was a pivotal movement in U.S. history and occurred in Chicago, Illinois on May 1st, 1886. In Chicago, the anarchist movement with several thousands, mostly immigrant workers, centered around the German language newspaper Arbeiterzeitung, or workers' newspaper edited by August Spies. Other anarchists operated a military revolutionary force with armed sectors equipped with explosions. It began with a strike for an 8-hour workday and escalated into violence when a bomb was detonated during the protest, leading to multiple deaths and injuries among both police and protesters. The event had significant repercussions, damaging public support for the labor movement and leading for the conviction and execution of several labor activists, including anarchists. 8 anarchists were arrested and convicted of conspiracy to incite violence. 4 were later hanged. The event severely damaged the public perception of the labor movement and contributed to the decline of their influence. The Haymarket Affair remains a symbol of the tensions between labor and capital, and it also helped establish May 1st as International Workers' Day. In the U.S., Labor Day is celebrated on the first Monday of September, recognizing the contributions of the American workers and their achievements, while May Day, or International Workers' Day, is a global holiday on May 1st that commemorates the struggles and gains of the labor movement, as well as commemorating the Haymarket Affair. The U.S. Labor Day does not mention the Haymarket Affair at all. This pin bears the phrase Der Stahlhelm am Rhein and refers to a rally that was organized by Der Stahlhelm Bund der Frontsoldaten, or the Steel Helmets League of Front Soldiers, in the Rhineland region of Germany on the 4th and 5th of October in 1930. The Stahlhelm was a prominent German veteran organization that was active during the Weimar Republic in the early Nazi period. The Stahlhelm played a significant role in German politics, particularly in the 20s and 30s, and advocated for a strong, unified Germany, often expressing anti-Weimar Republic sentiments. This tinny has a ship on it and the phrase Seefahrt Not, commemorating Tag der Deutschen Seefahrt, Day of the German Seafaring, of May 25th and May 26, 1935. The Nazis took this motto as propaganda. It was based upon a novel from Gorch Fock, Seefahrt Not, which translate to sea travel is a necessity or sea travel is essential. Gorch Fock was actually a pseudonym for Johann Knau, who actually wrote the novel. There was even a National Socialist magazine with this title meant for the Nazi sailors, Deutsch Seefahrer. And the motto comes from a line in the book, sea travel is a necessity, life is not. This is a beautiful tin, but it's pretty common. I have 5 of them, oddly with all different maker marks, as you see here. This pin has the image of a train passing in front of Cologne Cathedral, spelt Cologne in German, with a blue sky painted background, with the slogan, after harder work, strength through joy. And the MS stands for National Socialist, GEM for Gemeinschaft or Community, and KDF for Krafts durch Freude, strength through joy. The KDF was a large state-operated leisure organization in Nazi Germany, established in 1933 as part of the German Labor Front, or DAF. It was designed to promote the benefits of Nazism and enhance workers' productivity by organizing various leisure activities for the German working class. This is a 1936 May Day tinny with May 1st, 1936 at the top left and some factory and agricultural tools on it. This one's pretty common. This is a 1934 May Day tinny with Tag der Arbeit on the top and with a hammer and sickle and a male bust. I could not find the identity of the male bust. I guess it's just a general bust of a worker. I have 4 of these. They're pretty common, but some of these have some pretty cool toning on them. This one is an octagonal pin and has the image of 2 shaking hands in front of a memorial bearing the inscription 1934 Des Deutschen Ära erst die Toi, I guess, which translate to the Saar is German. The Saar territory was rich in coal and was taken from Germany and placed under the League of Nations administration after World War I due to provisions in the Treaty of Versailles. The French gained controls of the coal mines as compensation for the damage caused to their coal mines during the war and as part of Germany's reparations for a 15-year term. On January 13, 1935, a plebiscite was held in the territory at the end of the 15-year term, resulting in a 90.7% voter casting for their ballot in favor to return to Germany. After political maneuvering by then Chancellor Adolf Hitler for the reunification of Saarland to the German Reich, it was reincorporated in 1935. The handcuffs represent freedom from the provisions. This is a pre-war pin. It's not a Nazi one, but I had it in the mix, so why not? It'll give us a break from the swastikas for a bit. It features a lady in traditional clothing and says Helbron I'm Nakar Grus, meaning greetings from Helbron and Nakar, which is a river that flows through Helbron. It's a pretty simple one and not so offensive. Here is another pin where we can get a break from the swastika. It is from the Nazi era, and it has oak leaf and an acorn on it, and the words Schütze thy family wir opfern, circling it, which translate to protect thy family we sacrifice. In both the military and civilian world, the oak leaves represent strength, longevity, and endurance. Here's another one without a swastika. It has an image of the Reichstag and the wording Reichstag Besuch in Berlin, which translates to Reichstag visit in Berlin. Pretty simple and very common. This is a membership badge of the DRV. I'm not even going to try to pronounce these names anymore, but in English it translates to the German Cycling Association, which was a cycling unit of the National Socialist League of the Reich for physical exercise. Many cycling associations existed in Germany since 1884, but after the Enabling Act in 1933, which legally gave Hitler the dictatorial control of Germany, all existing cycling associations were called to split before the end of the first semester in 1933. This is the 1939 Mayday tinny. It has a young woman in a dress dropping flowers from a bouquet with a swastika positioned behind her, with the inscription 1st of May, Ostmark, Altreich, and Sudetenland, which are territories annexed by Germany. This is a 1938 Mayday tinny and features a young couple dancing around a maypole. Pretty simple and pretty common. This is the 1937 Mayday tinny, and it features a naked child in all its glory holding an oak leaf cluster in its left hand and waving with its right hand, or it could be a Sieg Heil salute. This is one of the most popular Mayday tinnies, and for this reason it's more expensive, but it's still pretty common. This is a 1935 WHW award tinny. The WHW was the official Nazi Party winter relief charity with the purpose of supporting the poor in Hungary during the cold German winter months. At the top, this has the words Verbotsjahr, which translates to forbidden year, which means year of prohibition or year of ban. My guess is in 1935, Nazi Germany enacted the Nuremberg Laws, a set of anti-Semitic and racist laws stripping the Jews of their German citizenship and prohibited the marriage and sexual relations between Jews and non-Jew Germans. This one is quite different. It's a Narvik shield, which was a World War II German military decoration awarded to all German forces that took part of the Battle of Narvik between April 9th and June 8th, 1940. It was instituted by Adolf Hitler, and a total of 8,577 military personnel received this award. This tinny is the Tag der Deutschen Handwerks, which translates to the Day of German Craftsmanship. In 1939, the event was a significant gathering of the German craft industry. The event was held in Frankfurt in Maine. It features a Nazi eagle with its wings open, hugging craftsmen working on stuff together. These are almost always pretty ratty, and condition is very important with these. This is a 1936 Freikentag, or Day of the Franks tinny. It was an annual Nazi-era festival where they celebrated anti-Semitic ideology and whatever they did, propaganda. But I found it interesting that Julius Streicher, the organizer, even planned to build a mausoleum for himself at the Heisenberg site. Weird. This is a 1938 Gutag, Dessau, Magdeburg, Anhalt badge. This was a Nazi rally, and it seems that Joseph Goebbels had a lot to do at this rally. These two tinnies are actually plastic, and they're colorized, and one on the back says Nebeltroop, and the other one says Flak Artillery. I've kind of got tired of researching all these, so here they are. So for these last few, they're going to be still images because they sold so quickly that I wasn't able to get enough time to make a video on them. But anyways, this first one is a 1933 DAF Woman's Labor Front pen. So Hitler aimed for full employment and self-sufficiency of the German people, and he did that in various different ways. One way he accomplished this was to buy out all the companies, privatize them, basically make them state-owned companies, and the Nazi organization replaced the trade unions, which were all banned in May 1933 because they could interfere with Hitler's plans. Workers could not strike, could not ask for higher wages, or leave the job without their permission. The maximum working hours per week were increased from 60 to 72, and workers could not change their job without permission. The Strength Through Joy, or KDF, was a scheme that was set up in November 1933. I talked about that earlier. And it aimed to make workers support Hitler by offering them rewards and keeping them occupied outside the workplace with organized leisure activities like evening classes, theater trips, Nazi picnics, and other stuff. The KDF also started a savings scheme for the workers who wanted to buy the new Volkswagen Beetle, or the people's car. They would save up 5 marks per week until 750 marks were paid into the scheme. And both the DAF and the KDF were both run by Dr. Lay. You say you want your reward, but where is your strength? I'm fucking losing it. This pin requires no intro. The Schichtstaffel, or the SS, was a National Socialist organization during the Weimar Republic and the Nazi era, which served the Nazi Party and Adolf Hitler as an instrument of domination and oppression. From 1934 onward, its responsibility included the operation and administration of concentration camps, and from 1941 onward, it played a central role in both planning the execution of the Holocaust and other genocides. The SS was the most important organ of terror and repression in the Nazi stage. During World War II, it and its various branches were largely responsible for war crimes and the crimes against humanity, particularly the Holocaust and the pogroms, the industrial mass murders of European Jews and so-called gypsies. This is probably the number one pin that woke me up about the true horrors of the Nazi Party, and there's no coming back after researching the SS. And this is the pin right here where I would have been like, all right, deal's off. I'm out of here. This is crazy. But this is a 1933 Waffen's SS Schutzstaffen Wewelsburg, whatever, honor badge. The Wewelsburg castle and the surrounding complex was used by the Nazis, especially under Heinrich Himmler from 1934 to 1945. Heinrich Himmler, the Reichsführer SS, leased the Wewelsburg castle in 1934 and envisioned transforming it into a central ideological and ceremonial center for the SS. He aimed to create a cult site and a spiritual center for the SS. Initially, it was intended as an SS officer training center known as the SS Schulhaus Wewelsburg. However, its purpose expanded to include a focus on dramatic history, folklore, ideology. Himmler incorporated esoteric and occult elements, further transforming the Wewelsburg into a quasi-religious center for the SS. Today, the Wewelsburg Castle houses a museum dedicated to the history of the SS and the Niedlhagen concentration camp, serving as a memorial to the victims of the Nazi terror. The museum aims to educate visitors about the atrocities committed by the SS, the most dangerous part of the Nazi Party, and the dangers of unchecked extremism. This piece I found, and it seems to be a Nazi Iron Cross, possibly a piece that's been modified or changed from the original, with 1813 being the year the Germans beat Napoleon, and 1939, the year World War II started. This is a classic second-class Nazi Iron Cross medal. The official criteria for this award is a single act of bravery in the face of the enemy, or an action that is clearly above and beyond the call of duty. Here, an SS personnel would receive a cross for a successful action in which the soldier distinguished himself. This one has some pretty cool toning, and I've never seen one this beautiful, if I would call it beautiful. This was a Nazi Eastern Front medal. It was for the Winterschlacht, or the Winterschlacht, the winter battle in the East from 1941 and 1942. It has a helmet on the top. And this medal was hated by the German soldiers and nicknamed the Frozen Meat Medal. And this medal was given out possibly to participants of Operation Barbarossa or maybe operations there before in the Eastern Front. And this pin celebrates the reunion of Saarland to the German Reich. It was reincorporated in 1935. It's missing the Saarland piece. It's supposed to look like this. But these are very sought after and could draw a good demand. And this one is an infantry assault badge. This infantry assault badge was awarded to the Waffen SS and the Weimar here soldiers during World War II. This one is a real interesting Nazi mine rescue merit medal, officially called the Mine Rescue Service Decoration, and it was awarded during World War II for meritorious services in German mines, particularly in firefighting and rescue efforts. It was instituted in November 16, 1936. So I started this video with the belt buckle and I'll end with it. And this is just an amazing piece of history, and it's crazy to think about the things that happened when this was being worn, what the person did, what the person went through. And again, this is just a piece of history. It's an amazing piece of history. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.